Now we're going to move into the student awards. And I'll talk about how the student awards are what the criteria are, which is simply that you have to be a current student or a student from the last 2 years at an accredited institution. And the judges could decide this year, so we added another honorable mention. So now there's 3. And Scott here is going to deliver those.
Thanks, Bev. Take a breather. Yeah, the student awards at this event, have always been a favorite part of this event, because if these individuals can produce what they're producing now, just imagine what we have to look forward to. That first honorable mention that Bev mentioned is for the most delightful educational experience for children, and it goes to Seedly from the Savannah College of Art and Design.
By 2050, the current food infrastructure will not be able to support the exponentially increasing population. It's important to educate our youth on how to sustainably grow produce for themselves. We approach this problem by speaking with industry professionals and avid community experts. Then we developed our concepts to test our ideas with real users before delivering our final design. We talked with professionals like Brianne Arthur, writer of The Foodscape Revolution. She said that 180 million acres of suburban land exist across the U.S., and we need to utilize these spaces for growing produce. We gained insight from a study done on the relation of agriculture and education, which showed that students who garden had more pro-environmental attitudes. The more outdoor experiences they had, the more positive their contribution was to the class. Then, we concepted and created iterations of possible solutions through physical prototyping. We then tested our early prototype on potential users and considered those results when making our final design. Meet Seedly, a necklace for children that motivates them to continually grow and plant seeds every 2 weeks. The necklace communicates water and light levels with the app using the light blue bean via Bluetooth Low Energy, and the RFID tag enables personalized wireless integration within the app. The pendant communicates with the Philips Hue lights to indicate the seed needs water. The watering process is intuitive, allowing the kid to dip the necklace into water, soaking up the necessary amounts of nutrients into the soil sponge, and feeding the plant for the day. After 2 weeks, the germination period is complete and the app notifies the child. The app recognizes the necklace utilizing Bluetooth LE technology and provides an update, telling the child it's time to plant their seed. The child plants their seed, allowing the family to come together and watch their garden start to form. If a seed is planted every 2 weeks for a year, each child can add 26 food-producing plants to the ecosystem. Seedly, planting the future, one seed at a time.
All right. Congratulations. Well done. Really well done.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's see what the judges had to say as well. Let's see. Jenny, do you have any questions for the team Seedly or any comments about the judging process?
Sure. This was one of my favorite student entries. And as a parent of 2 young children, I can personally attest to how hard it is to get kids to do stuff. And I think it's a great and worthy endeavor to teach our children that strawberries don't come from a plastic clamshell box. I'm curious, my question is, in working with children as your participants, what did you uncover? Like, was there anything interesting that you wanted to share?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so like I mentioned before in the presentation, and maybe Joe can talk a little bit to this also, they were a little bit hesitant to the product that we actually gave them because it wasn't our final product. And so that provided a little bit of limitation to what we were hoping to get from the research. But overall, once we provided the final design that we had 3D printed to them, they were more accepting to it.
Yeah, what we found was they really liked customizing the way their seed looked on their neck. It was really interesting. If we go back and see the Tamagotchi about 10 years ago, how it was all about personalizing a personal computer character to look over for a kid, and they really felt that they needed to take control over what their seed looked like, which was really cool to see how we could push that product further and customize that for each individual child.
Great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You guys also want a Loop 11? Yes, you also want a Loop 11 certificate, some chocolates, and a book from Rosenfeld Media. One of those? One of the books. And one of the books and the chocolates.
Thank you.
Yes.
One, two, or three. Project management for humans. Awesome.
Okay. Our second, congratulations, guys. Our second student honorable mention is for the best tool for ground transportation driver planning, and it goes to LogistiX, again from the Savannah College of Art and Design. Andrew Zanoni, please come forward.
The logistics and transportation industry is vital to our global economy. In the United States in 2015, $1.48 trillion, that's 8% of the nation's GDP, was spent on shipping alone. Today, UPS stands as a leading logistics company. Upon its creation in 1916, UPS recorded deliveries on paper. The current Diet was released in 2011 and uses most of the same technology and software as the original Diet of the 1990s. This outdated technology jeopardizes UPS's status in today's exploding online shopping market. The Diet's legendary durability lives on and features an easy-to-use Android-based operating system called LogistiX. It fits firmly in the hands of multitasking drivers thanks to ergonomic grip pads and reversible elastic strap. The two most common commands for each screen are mapped to a pair of gold multifunction buttons on either side of the Diet. By placing them closer to the driver's thumbs, the driver can touch the screen less. The new pre-shift routine encourages an open dialogue between drivers and managers by enabling drivers to share their mood and suggestions for improved deliveries. Within days, drivers can receive management feedback. Drivers can read an overview of the morning's pre-shift meeting to help them remember important information. All drivers are walked through 5 essential stretches to help them warm up and to prevent future injury. The stretches include ankle rotations, calf stretches, and neck stretches. The en route UI is now easier to read at a glance. Stops can be filtered through with tabs at the top of the screen, while the bottom features the soft key options. Once drivers begin their route, they can swipe down to view a map of their next 5 stops, or hit the multifunction button to start the next delivery. The driver can also unlock their hand truck from the Diet. Altogether, less than 7 button presses are necessary to complete the delivery on the new Diet. Signatures for delivered packages can be done by voice or fingerprint. The Diet understands that time is money. It streamlines the delivery process so drivers can return to their personal lives sooner.
Who's waiting for a package right now? It's a big opportunity. Andrew, congratulations to you and your team. Well done.
Thank you.
Itai, did you have any thoughts on the judging process?
Yeah. So when we looked at this, we were very impressed with the matureness and the thoughtfulness by the specific area where you chose to focus, and the amount of effort that went into identifying the users, remembering the manager and the relationship between the manager and the worker and the user that gets the package, the focus between hardware and software and service design, it's all there, and was fantastic to see. So such a thoughtful work from a student. And our question was, why is UPS waiting for a student to come and tell them how to fix everything? When are we going to see it?
Well, they have such an advanced infrastructure already. They have the hundreds of bases throughout the country and the world, and they're such a big company. The amount of money and personnel it would take to upgrade all of the hardware and the servers in each of their facilities and all the handheld devices and train everyone, it would be too much for them to handle. They'd have to implement it over a long period of time. And the drivers, they like to do their work, but they don't necessarily, training, they don't get paid for training. So if they have to go to training, they're not out working, and they want to be out working.
Thank you. It's a great
Thank you
job.
very much.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you.
You also get a 11 certificate, some chocolates, and a book from Rosenfeld Media.
Thank you so much.
Your choice. Sure. And now for the winning student entry. It's the most comprehensive platform for health recovery. It goes to Spark from the Savannah College of Art and Design. James, Huangha, and Gonzalo, please come forward.
Wayne Hall couldn't be here.
Sorry about that.
Huang Ha couldn't be here today. She couldn't get off work.
No words? That's all right. Go ahead a minute. Maybe you guys can do some of these exercises for us. Thanks, gentlemen. Congratulations. Great work. Would any of the judges like to comment on the judging process, or do they have any questions for the team?
So awesome. You SCAD people are impressing us. One of the things I think we all thought about with this one is that, what a holistic approach. Not only is it undergrad, but the fact that you guys figured out all the components. You figured out all the components. I mean, coming from smart design, seeing like the whole holistic journey. You've thought about the form factor, this cool projection thing. You've talked to the experts. It's well researched. The fact that, frankly, it looks really fun to do this. It felt very experiential. It felt like, again, the dose regime that you guys thought about. Again, I like the fact that the whole thing from UI to product design, physical and digital, was very well thought out, high quality, well executed. It looks like an awesome product. So, question I have, we were all thinking about, and you went down that path. So, rehabilitation or gym, tell us about, were you guys duking it out, arm wrestling? What were you doing to okay, no, it's going to be Equinox, we're selling this to, no, doctors. So what was where are you going with this?
So that was a huge dilemma for us. A lot of the times we're like, this is we could replace gyms, and then it's like, no, let's focus on therapy. So it was like a constant battle going back and forth in between both
I
of
won
them.
that battle, by the way.
He did win the battle.
It was fitness rehabilitation. We're both
Yeah.
athletes at school, so
That was like the thing about the project in the beginning. We all kind of knew we wanted to do something with athletes, and we kind of decided that because of insurance and things like that, that we should focus on physical therapy. But it was a huge dilemma because like it's not that fun to get into healthcare, into all that stuff. So we naturally wanted just to make fun exercises and things like that. But after, you know, just going through the process and talking to people, we realized that this was something that physical therapists and physical therapy patients could use. So we decided to focus more on that. And thanks to our teacher, Professor BC. Woo! Thank you guys. I appreciate it. No champagne yet?